Subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man.
What's happening? This your boy Smith. No, you watching Donnie Houston. My brother Donnie Houston. We in Houston. You watching Donnie Houston. In Houston. I have a lot of trauma, a lot of childhood trauma, and a lot of dysfunction that, maybe I had something to do with. Maybe I didn't.
But we talked about that. I don't think a kid that's 7, 8 years old experiencing things. I don't think that's something you can have something to do with.
Well, I guess to exist in the now, I can say that God had something to do with it. It was like, it's like God will take you through things to prepare you to take you through things, to prepare you to take you through things, and so forth and so on through the extent of your life. And so, bro, I can't tell you that I know because I don't know. Maybe I prayed for a measure of wisdom somewhere in my life and didn't really know what I was asking for. And then God took me through a lot of things to get the wisdom that I prayed for. That's why they say you should be careful of the things that you pray for. I'm just glad to be alive.
Do you? And I don't know. I mean, we talk different off the camera and shit. I don't know how much you was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do you connect your childhood to the way you kind of grew up to be in your the mentality and the way you kind of saw things?
Yeah. Of course, I'm 6'5", bro. And one time in my life, I could bench press 500 pounds. Like I was eating him at one time, still mistaking that. But from an inside perspective, I had a monster in me that I had to identify. And that monster looked like, it looked like a scared 8-year little old boy full of fear with a big old pistol in his hand. I was abused as a child, not sexually, but, physically. I had a stepdad that, yeah. So then, I was fearful.
Did you have a relationship with your actual father at any time? Or you just knew your stepdad growing up?
Honestly, man, I think that if I would have had a relationship with my father, I probably wouldn't have turned out to be a good person. I'm just being honest. I love my father, but my father.
So you got to know him later in life, or you always knew him?
Yeah. Early on, I wouldn't later on in life. Yeah, we was cool. We linked up. I love my dad, but from the stories I hear when he was early on, man, he was in the streets. You know what I mean? He was in the streets.
Is he a bigger guy and shit like you? Like you can see your old man. I'm just like my old man type shit.
I'm a bit bigger than he is, but it's because he wasn't there, I always look for that male figure, somebody to come save me. I didn't have a male figure to identify with. So I guess genetically, the way that I was raised, I created a superhero for myself and called him Smoke D. And so, like I say, I watched my mom shoot my stepdad, and I watched my stepdad shoot my mom.
So your mom shot your stepdad first. You were how old when you saw that?
I was young when I saw them both. I don't know. They used to have a Count Dracula show on PBS called Dark Shadows or something. And I realize now in retrospective, reflective thinking that my stepdad brought me and my brother in there to instill fear in us by watching something that we didn't want to watch. To this day, I don't watch scary movies or nothing morbid.
So that feared y'all as kids, we don't want to watch this. And he was like, no, you got to sit down and watch.
He made us watch it. So now, my mind, if I watch a scary movie, my mind won't know that it ain't real. So I don't watch them. See? Then plus I done seen too much in real life, right? Why would I want to watch that? Why would I want to see, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense to me. But, that's just me, you know? And so, like, once Smoke D was created,
What age were you when you said I'm gonna create this guy Smoke D?
11,
11 years old.
11.
Were you already blowing, or what was the smoke? What was the smoke about?
Fear. I was so fearful that I had to become fear itself. So I didn't get bullied.
That's what I was gonna ask. Were you a
I
kid
come
that
from
grew up?
yeah, I was getting bullied like by everybody. But,
Were you a bigger kid when you were little, or you
I
didn't get
was
big until you
small.
got
I
older?
grew big.
Okay.
When I grew bigger, I started bullying the people that bullied me.
So what age did that happen, when that transition, when you became the bigger kid versus?
Probably I conquered everything and everybody around 13. And then I had a younger brother under me. I was his brother daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because,
So so are you the oldest of all your siblings?
I have a sister that's older than me, but I'm the oldest male. Like, and so my brother I didn't have nobody. Like, I was pretty much my own parent at age 8, bro. Like, I was already locked up.
At 8 years old. So what was your mom and stepdad doing at 8 years old, and where they weren't around?
My stepdad, I don't know. Like, people where I'm from, they always got shit to say, but I don't. My stepdad, they call him Cadillac Eddie Mac. And he was a well-known womanizer throughout the town, and among other things as well that I don't want to say on this camera. But, I learned how to womanize from him. Like, even in his,
was he teaching you things, or you just learned about watching?
Even though he was doing it, once I got older, like, I pulled a gun on him when I was 8 because he was attacking my mom. And I stayed in fear from age 8 to age 16, lifting weights and doing whatever to get bigger. And like, my mom, every summer, the last day of school, she would send us deep down in the woods so far to where if you didn't have a full tank of gas to get there, you probably couldn't get back. But as them summers...
Who was there?
My grandmama.
Gotcha.
And my grandmama took us through an old training, upbringing ritual. The strongest one makes sure that everybody's safe. At first, it was my cousin Glenda, and she would get the whoopings all the time. Like, but then when she left, it passed down to me. And my grandma, she would whoop me every day, even if I didn't do nothing. And she said, that she seen something in me that's good. And so she said she was whooping me not for what I did, but for what I was going to do. I still have a problem trying to understand it to some degree. I do understand it to some degree. But then, like...
Do you feel like she spoke that into you versus, like, that just kind of being actually...
She just didn't speak it into me. She showed me. She taught me how to cook. And if I didn't cook the stuff right, I got beat. That was it. I went out and got a switch every day, and I had to get a switch big enough to hurt me for myself. But what she was showing me was a measure of toughness. Now, once I went through all of that training my grandma put me through, she called my mom and told my mom he ready now. You see, because the whoopings, they kept going, but I stopped crying. See what I'm saying?
And you how old at your age?
From 16, I don't know, probably like from age 8, last day of school, we'll go for 3 months. Probably till around 11 or 12 or somewhere around there, 13. I had an uncle, I had 2 uncles that lived there. They used to haul paperwood. But see, one of them summers I came back to Crystal Springs, Mississippi. That's where I kind of grew up. And I was big enough. And I was strong enough. And I was a monster. And I didn't know it. I had grew up to 16, but I was still a scared 8-year-old little boy. And it took me my whole life to identify my monster from a psychological perspective so that I can understand that the biggest person that's at fault in my life is me. See?
Even though all them things was going on at a young age,
even
that
though
was beyond your control.
it depends on how you look at it. I mean, what good is it gonna do me to complain about something I ain't doing shit about? Yeah, it hurt. Nigga, I went through an experience in Michael 7. I'm a devout reader of the word of God. You understand what I'm saying? Don't mistake it. I love God. And so the word, I'm paraphrasing, said that your enemies will be members of your own household, bro. And so to go through these kind of experiences, it's like God taking you through something to take you through something to take you through something. You pray for wisdom. You pray for strength. You have to learn how to look past a person's fault to see their need and use the God-given love that God put in you that's required for you to help these people be better like, you wasn't, right? And it take God to see God. When you got God and you can still easily see the funny, man. You know? And so you grow. Love is better than hate. And even though in all the hate that I grew up in, I can still be a light. See what I'm saying? I get to be me. Now, don't make no mistake about it. I still am everything that I was to the fullest degree, but it's not the total circumference of who I've evolved to. See? There are things more important than value, duality and titles, bro. Right? If you think about it, we really don't have time for time. Because time is just a conceptualization of somebody's physical mind. And anything human built has limitations to it. So if it's limited in any form, then it's a prison to the fullest degree. 1% or 99%. If it's 99% real, 1% of it fake, nigga, it's all fake. All of it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man.